Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the 8th through the 21st. We're going to be talking about love as well as career/money, however that's working for you guys. So, Taurus, feel like you're changing much with Uranus in that first house? Yeah, a lot of Taurus are feeling it in a big way. Now, on the 8th to March 2nd, you're going to have all of that, not only the stellium, but I mean, we have everybody hanging out in there. The Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, everybody hanging out. For you guys, it's going to be in your 10th house, having to do with career and also public reputation. You know, that could have anything to do with marriage, to fame, depending on your situation. So you have a lot of energy hanging out in there actually this year. But we're going to have this tension with Uranus in your first house of self. So there's going to be this need to release. There's definitely going to be this shake up, right, in your sense of self, where you're saying, I want to do things differently. I want to do a different job. I want something different out of marriage or out of that serious connection that I'm publicly known as, right? That could have to do with again, any sort of either career move, or there are many ways that this could end up manifesting as far as your public reputation goes, right? If you know what I mean. So there's going to be a lot of shakeups there for you. But lots of good, though. Good, because Uranus is about coming in and see, this is the thing. If you've been feeling the tickle that you needed to make a change, but you've had either a little analysis paralysis or a lack of clarity, you're going to become a lot more decisive about what it is that you want to do. That doesn't mean that you're going to be clear on what it is, but you're going to know. It's going to be a lot easier for you to make some changes having to do with that, particularly having to do with that 10th house energy. We have the full moon in Aquarius on February 11th. Really good for making new friends, new connections. Anything that is having to do with problem solving to move your life forward. Even though Mercury's retrograde, because it's in there with Venus, there's a lot of really good energy to figure stuff out. So for you, especially having to do with anything with those 10th house energies, I certainly do feel like for you guys. And then on the 14th, the 11th to the 14th, we have Jupiter conjunct Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon. Really great love energy here, through what might feel like an otherwise very difficult time period. But this could bring healing in relationships, new partnerships of all kinds, lots of wisdom gained in this brief energy, really nice seeds that are planted. I just want to, I don't want to rain on that beautiful message, but on the 18th to the 20th, we do have Venus squaring off with Mars, and that can sound negative, and I know a lot of people are presenting it as negative, but I actually don't think it is, because Mars is the Tower card in tarot, right? A lot of people hate getting the Tower card. But what is the Tower card, right? And what is Mars? Mars is obsessed with making sure that we're on the right path that we're meant to be on in our life. Nothing else will do. It's like if that thing reached its expiration date, it reached its expiration date. We can't keep it in our energy anymore. It's got to go, right? So that could even just have to do with like ways of treating each other in a relationship. So there's problem solving there, right? But there could be the potential of that tension bringing Venus down into her shadow manifestation, which could be passive aggressiveness, manipulation, jealousy, that kind of stuff, even greed, right? Because this can create problems with finances and relationship, but it's a 2-day transit where it's going to be felt heavily. So just watch your P's and Q's on those 2 days. I'm telling everybody that if something is really difficult, don't make any broad sweeping decisions in that energy, because things are going to look a lot differently for you after that. But it's meant to spur thought and make you see things that maybe you haven't seen up to this point. Definitely a lot of changes. Wow. Taurus. We have the 3 wisdom of the oracles having to do with career right now. We first start off with not for you. So something that you thought was for you is actually not for you. So it's funny, we could be, we could have a very strong passion about something, but maybe not be very successful at it for one reason or another. Maybe it's timing. It has nothing to do with your skill set. Maybe it has to do with what's the availability like for positions in the market, So for you right now, something that you've been focused on, maybe excuse me, oh, my throat chakra's closing. Maybe something that you've been studying or, you know, working really hard on, you know, and you're like, why am I beating my head against the wall? Nobody, I'm waiting for responses. I'm waiting for things to take off. I'm putting in the hard work and nothing's, you know, coming to pass. So there can end up being some chaos and conflict as a result of this. Now, this could certainly be internal, Taurus. It doesn't have to be external. It doesn't have to be a big mess that you're dealing with. It sounds so dramatic, right? But chaos and conflict, when it happens internally, it's like, oh man, all right, listen, I thought that was going to be my reality moving forward, but guess what? It's not working out. So now I need to regroup and figure out, but I don't know what that means. So for a lot of you, it could certainly be that. For others of you, this could absolutely be having a big argument with somebody at work or a business partner. Now, this could have to do with even some sort of, keep in mind, this is never only my career reads and money reads, or for anything that has to do with money, including lawsuits, including getting a loan from the bank for a mortgage to purchase a home, or any sort of investment, or selling your home, right? Anything where you're experiencing an exchange of money. Your actual career might be totally fine. This might have to do with something outside of that. But there's some sort of issue where there needs to be a redressing because of a lot of conflict. But then there's mending. So I really like this because this does indicate to me problem, solution. So there is some sort of solution that's going to be had here for you regarding that. So right now, I feel like a lot of you guys are out there dealing with people, meaning if not in the 3D, maybe virtually, but the park energy does indicate like networking, social media, being out on platforms, dealing with people. Again, it could be online. Maybe you were teaching where it's you and many other people, or it's you dealing with people. But you're in this situation here where it does seem like you're focusing on a lot of people. Now, when we get the Child card, this can mean a couple of things. For some of you, it's being very, you really want to focus on your ability to be creative right now, right? Because Child represents the 5th house in astrology. It's a Leo energy, which is the house of children. It's also the house of creativity and doing what we love to do just because we love to do it. And this is also an entrepreneurial energy as well. So a lot of you may be in the space of really wanting to venture out into your own business where you're able to exercise some sort of creative bone that you have, or where you're really looking to approach your business from more of a creative point. Now, we have the ruby in the center, which is about commitment and strong foundation. And this is in the center. This is your central focus right now. You're not looking to be flippant with anything. You really want to get very grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in something that allows you to exercise some element of you, of creativity, right? Because that 5th house is very much like a me-based energy, meaning you, but you know, the idea of me, what I like to do, what I, you know, that kind of thing. Now, we have some sort of message that's coming into you. The white feather always represents the truth of a situation. So this could certainly show up as a reality check that's just simply occurs to you, or you getting a message literally from somebody about a situation. Now, for those of you, I do want to backtrack here. For those of you who are maybe dealing with like a divorce settlement, child support, alimony, anything like that, you're very focused on your children. You're very focused on simply being able to take care of and being able to anchor and provide a solid space for them, right? So you're very focused on money for the sake of your children, right? So for a lot of you, this is how you're going to be resonating with it. For those of you without children, it would be that you just simply want to get into something that brings you a strong foundation that allows you to exercise your creativity. Now, again, general messages, I have to tell you everything that I'm getting as well. This could also have to do with inheritance, okay? Because when we're dealing with the idea of child, it's child, the element of being a child at one point in something. So there can be this idea of inheritance as well. And communicating and dealing with the paperwork and the reality of something and just really wanting to finalize that and having the best outcome possible. Lots of messages, but this is actually what it could mean because it's all forms of money. So we have the Chariot energy coming into this, which is The Chariot is always about moving away from something that isn't working, some sort of toxicity, and going towards something that's going to work a lot better, right? The Chariot, remember, is a Cancer energy, so this can indicate quick changes and progress in some sort of business dealing, any kind of situation that pushes it forward away from something that wasn't working into something that is working, or it's about bringing something to fruition, right? Whatever it is, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be very positive news in finances, although you're going to have to really work very hard, very diligently, and be patient. And this is coming into this energy, so I feel like that's good. Moving away from something that wasn't working, into something that is going to work, right? So right now we have the King of Coins crossed by the Judgment. Okay, so I like this. So the King of Coins is being very responsible right now, solid and practical in your approach. Now this could be you, where you're just really focused on making money. This could also indicate you're dealing with somebody who is very generous with you. This could have to do maybe with a boss, or I don't know, an ex-partner, if it were soon to be, right? If this has to do with the divorce settlement. But the situation right now is really focusing on, like, financially, what is the best for everybody involved. And then we have this working with the Judgment energy, which is in career energy. This has to be acknowledged. It has to do with acknowledgement for your success coming into you, right? Finance is improving right now. So we get the King of Pentacles with the Judgment energy. This is really, really beautiful. Now, this could be this compliment, right? Where you're finally getting the accolades. Now, for others of you, depending on the situation, this could be a cross. Now, if we have the Judgment working as a cross, this means that you're not being acknowledged for everything that you have to offer. And because of that, even though you're very focused on accruing and building your money, right, being very sort of self-sufficient in whatever it is that you're doing, you feel like you're not getting the opportunity that you feel like you deserve. So it depends on where you're at, and you're going to know if it's complimenting or if it's crossing you, okay? Now, we do have the Nine of Swords, so this would definitely speak to it being crossed, because it's a frustrating energy, Nine of Swords. There's anxiety, there can be some depression, some ruminating thoughts, but specifically because in astrology, this is a Mars in Gemini energy, and Mars being very focused on what is it that you're supposed to be doing. Gemini is the Swords energy. It's air, it's truth, it's thought. So that's where the thoughts are coming in, ruminating thoughts about what is the right thing for you. So, some of you may be in the space where you're putting all your stuff out there, you're feeling really optimistic, you're focusing on building your building your name as far as career or whatever it is, right? But you have all of these either lack of recognition, roadblocks, whatever it is, and you might be in the space of feeling sort of blocked by the whole thing. Others of you, if you're getting the accolades and all of that, everything is coming in that's going really well, you're still worried about something. And it's crowning you here. Look at this. Yeah, I feel like this is for most of you, this Judgment energy is more of a cross, because then we have here the Eight of Swords, which is feeling very sort of imprisoned in a situation where you feel like you have to stay for the money, but you don't feel like you fit in the situation anymore. It's almost the kind of energy where it's like, let's say there are 10 of you in an office, right? And nine of you guys go into the boss's office and have a meeting, and nobody invited you. And everybody comes out and they're talking amongst themselves, and you're like, hey, what about me? And they were like, oh, didn't we tell you? And you're being like, no. And you feeling, even though nobody's saying anything exactly, you feeling like, something is going on here. I don't trust it. I kind of feel like left out. I feel like I don't belong here anymore. I used to think I belonged in this, but now I don't. And it's that kind of energy, or it's just feeling like something just doesn't resonate with you anymore, and not being able to maybe fully identify, not that it matters. Like, who changed? Did you change? Did they change? Like, what changed here? Or what is the issue exactly? But you just know that you feel like you don't fit in something right now that needs to be looked at. Now, representing you here, we have the Two of Wands energy, which means that you're waiting for something, right? I mean, this is waiting for the results on something, right? You need to make a choice here. So what is it that you're that you're looking for exactly? What is it that you're waiting on exactly? Some of you might be waiting to find out if you got that job. Others of you, what's going to happen with that lawsuit? Are you going to get that loan? What's happening, right? Kind of like a space of waiting, because once that space of waiting is met, then you can make a decision, right? And so whenever we have two, we always have, should I do this? Should I do that? Right? It's a Mars and Aries energy. And Mars is always about, again, what is the right thing for you? Aries is about a fresh path, a new perspective. So you're in this space where it's like, okay, I need to decide between these two things, but let me get all the information first. I hope that makes sense to you. So the energy external to you that's impacting you is the King of Cups. So, really, this is a beautiful energy. This is a supportive, maybe boss, a supportive lawyer, somebody who is maybe in, now this could be if it's another person. This could be somebody who's in a leadership role, who is very tolerant, very empathetic about what it is that you want to go through. Like you might be dealing with somebody who really wants to help you out at work. This is a Libra and Scorpio energy. So Libra in astrology. So Libra it's ruled by Venus. So it's one of the money planets, but it's also about what's fair, what's not fair. How good do you feel in something? How profitable could something be for you? And Scorpio has to do with transforming something, changing things up. So you might have somebody who's very much on your side, who really wants to help you out, right? Really wants to help you out. If this is not a person, no, it has to be, or this could just be a general energetic influence that you feel like in order for you to grow and expand into another area, you do feel like you have the support that it is that you need. If you look for it, it's there for sure. Now we have the Knight of Coins as your challenge. So the Knight of Coins is, you might be a little challenged in the patient area, being patient. This is you have to put the hard work in and you have to be patient, and that might be really challenging right now, especially if you're waiting so patiently for either that thumbs up or thumbs down kind of thing, having to do with whatever it is, right? That's your challenge. That's okay. This is in your head. It's not in the 3D. And I know it's not easy for Tauruses to be patient, even though you guys are very stable. You're earthy, you're pentacle, you're ruled by Venus, you're all those things. You're also so clear in your thinking that you're like, why can't there just be an answer like yesterday? I don't understand. It's that kind of thing. And we have the Four of Swords in the near future, and this is about stepping away from something, retreating from something that you were doing to figure out a better approach, to figure out a better way of doing it. Now remember, this is only for 2 weeks in the middle of February. This is not forever, but this is a Jupiter and Libra energy in astrology, and Jupiter expands whatever it's in. So it's really going to be this focus on that Libra Venus energy in this, having to do with this financial matter. So it's really like, okay, I need to regroup and strategize. What's the best approach for me in order for me to be successful, in order for me to move, because Jupiter is a very benefic energy. It's very positive, but Libra has to do with what's fair, what's not fair. Am I being compensated the way that I should be? Is this a fair thing? Seventh house also has, Libra is seventh house. It also has to do with marriage. So very relevant if this has to do with some sort of like agreement regarding a divorce or child support or alimony or anything like that, right? Definitely could be something like that. But you being in the space of figuring out, of retreating, kind of a pause button, which is fabulous, because really these 2 weeks, not a good time to make any big sweeping decisions, as I mentioned before. And then look, we have Justice again. Wow. I mean, Taurus, it's all about the scales for you right now. It really is. What's fair, what's not fair. You're willing to work, but you want to be treated equitably. You want a business a situation to go fairly. You want to be paid fairly. You want to like what you're doing. You want to feel okay with the outcome of something. And if it's not, that needs to be addressed. I mean, that really is. So you might feel or experience a challenging situation within the circumstance that actually feels like a test. But getting this as the final outcome means things are going to go in your favor, and whatever that is, any kind of interview, negotiation, any situation where a meeting of the minds is needed. And if money's been an issue here, things are set to improve. So this means ultimately going in your direction. But this also means that the truth of a situation comes out that was not seen before. A realization is had and addressed, and some sort of win-win solution is had. And that, I feel like, is where the mending comes in. So the chaos and conflict in the not for you, I just feel like there's something that needs to be the truth. We have a lot of truth being served up here. A lot of truth in all of these energies. So that's what I have for you as far as career/money. It looks good. It looks good. So yeah, stay open to that. Stay open, because that is the energy that's available. For sure. All right, my friends, let's go into relationship now. So, yeah, I mean, that 10th house energy, everything we said about that 10th house, that can have to do with, you know, your, can have to do with marriage, for sure. Absolutely. Oh, good. We're starting out with the devil and death. All right. Doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. Let's see here. Hold on. A lot of reversals are Taurus, friends. We got the sun as the final outcome. Okay, let's end the reading. That's all we need. All right. I feel like we're definitely going to need some messages here to figure out what's going on. Because coming into this, we have the 9 of Pentacles. In the recent past, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, which, you know, is, I mean, look. Somebody focused too much on work, maybe? Is there jealousy going on? Is there envy? Is it some kind of financial setback? Could certainly be as well. That was indicated here. Okay, the mask, dragonfly, karmic relationship. Yep. All right. So, yeah. Could be any of those things. But when we have the devil as a situation right now, it's being either crossed or complemented by the death energy, right? And we'll talk about both and see how it impacts you. We're talking about the devil energy in relationship. This can mean, you know, at least for now, difficult issues going on in relationships. You know, maybe you have a controlling partner, or there's some sort of lust over love situation, some sort of affair, maybe codependent issue as well. For those of you who are maybe separated, you might be separated, but like there's still this financial dependence, you know, or other ongoing money or property issues, right, that keep you tied to the past. It could be something like that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I feel like some of you may be going through a divorce of some kind. For some of you. All right. So let's just look at this. I feel like this is you looking at the past. Somebody's looking at the past patiently, realizing that in the past, there was a lot of patience exercised in the past. You guys are known for that, right? Super patient energy. You are Taurus. So you're very, very patient in the past, but now you're having this realization that as above, so below. How somebody acts out in the 3D is going to manifest internally. So how you're being treated in this relationship, how that marriage was, how that relationship was, what that situation was like out in the 3D has manifested internally. And you can't separate the two. If somebody is not good to you, if they're not fair, if they're full of a lot of lip service, if there's deflection, if there's whatever it is, fill in the blank. In the same way, if there's a lot of love, that's going to be felt internally. But if there's negativity experienced externally, it's going to manifest in a negative way internally, and it can make you sick. It could create energetic blocks. It could create confusion. We have the bridge here, which is coming together, a meeting of the minds. This can also indicate coming together. This often comes up as meeting up in the middle of things to sign divorce papers for a lot of you. Now, just sticking with that narrative, because that's going to resonate with some of you for a second, and then I'll come back to how else you could resonate with it. We have the Mars man here. This is a lot of aggression here. Mars is a warrior planet who wants to fight for what is right. And whatever is going on here is definitely meant to happen. We have the compass, the true north of the situation is meant, first of all, this is all of destiny is at play here. There needs to be some sort of obstacle in order for there to be any resolution having to do with this situation, whether it's just you feeling better about a certain circumstance. There's got to be some sort of conflict. So if you're in a space of conflict right now, it's very, very necessary. Now, for those of you not meeting up to sign divorce papers and you're meeting up to try to have a meeting of the minds where you're meeting to talk, maybe you're meeting to have coffee or something like that, or, you know, whatever it is, meeting up for lunch, there's a lot of aggression that's addressed. I feel this way, you feel that way. And it's really trying to get in touch with, though, what the right thing is. And there needs to be this conflict in order for, again, in order for there to be resolution. So again, going back to this Nine of Pentacles energy, as I mentioned before, this could be somebody a little too focused on work, too focused on money. There could be this issue dealing with some sort of financial setbacks, jealousy, envy, whatever, however it can manifest like that. But somebody being way too focused on their own stuff, right? Too focused on, you know, their own financial gains, focused on their pleasures, what works for them, and not enough for like the we in the relationship, if that makes sense. So I've talked about the devil already and what that means in relationship, definitely this kind of imbalance. But then we have this working with the death card. So the death can literally mean the relationship ending, or there being a time of separation that's very necessary if the relationship is ever going to like, you know, find its feet again in the future. And, you know, because then whatever's been happening up to this point, it has not been healthy, So again, now it can mean a total ending, but it doesn't have to, even though it's a major arcana, because it's the energy of transformation. Something can be transformed, but there needs to be this break in the middle of it in order for the situation to breathe, and in order for there to not be a lot of lip service. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no, I'm going to change. Yeah, no, it's going to be different next time. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? So it's so easy to get sucked into that. So this is like good right now. I feel like if you're resonating with this, there might be a little bit of breathing room here. You guys might be in a break. Or if you're together, you're not really speaking, right? You sort of like not feeling very, very connected. Now, what's the crowning energy of all of this is the Nine of Cups. Like at the end of the day, you are really about just, you know, having your mind set on what your wish fulfillment is. You know, Taurus, I just feel like right now you're not willing to compromise what you see in your mind's eye for yourself. Not in in any way like egotistical or nothing like that. It's simply knowing, and there's nothing wrong with this, knowing what you want for yourself in relationship and knowing what feels healthy, right? Feel. Taurus, you're all about feel. You guys are the body. Taurus rules the body, right? So you feel your feelings quite literally in your body, and you have to be careful of that because, you know, Taurus, more than any other sign, you can manifest illness within yourself, right? From you being in these not so healthy situations externally, they can manifest in a very nasty way where you end up with lower back pain, stomach issues, this, that, you know. So you have to be careful of that, but you're very laser focused on what it is that feels right, that's the right thing for you. Now we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse as the foundation here, which indicates rejection, a false start. There being delays. There might be a delay here. And it could be a little brutal emotionally right now for you. You know, low-key, not so low-key brutal. But you're not allowing your mind to get off of what it is that you really ultimately want for yourself. Now, you and only you, right now, you're the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So, you know, because this is a relationship read, Pentacles doesn't only have to mean money. Maybe some of you are stressed about money. I mean, that could be. It could be two things at once, because Pentacles also means mental, physical, emotional connection. So this could indicate you feeling very, very worried about this connection. Very, you're in a space of feeling like, you know, quite concerned about, you know, am I going to grow old alone? Am I ever really going to, you know, meet somebody new? being really kind of concerned about that. So you could be stressing about connection, you could be stressing about money, you could be stressing about both of those things. You might be in a mindset where it's like, okay, this relationship didn't work out. Okay, I thought this was going to happen, right? I know this is what I see for myself, but now I need to figure out a way of making that work for me, because you're in this space of saying, I don't want that. I don't want to worry about money. I don't want to worry about connection. I don't want to worry about these things. And you really trying to figure out how to bring that to yourself, which I think is healthy, but it's not comfortable while you're in it. Now we have the Five of Cups energy external to you that's impacting you. This is an external energy, okay, that's impacting you. Now the Five of Cups, and we have it reversed, is a moving on energy. This is about forgiveness, hope returning, recovering, okay? And it is impacting you, right? So it's moving on from something that hasn't been working, and this allowing hope to return. So this is, again, an energy external to you that's going to be impacting you. So I feel like while you're concerned about maybe money and concerned about not wanting to be alone moving forward, I don't feel like you're making any flippant decisions right now, which is good. We don't want to do that, particularly the middle of this February. But I feel like because of this situation, it's impacting you in a way where at the end of the day, it's going to end up facilitating some sort of like ability to move on, but without bitterness, with hope, and with a sense of recovery. Now, what is your challenge right now? Your challenge is the Seven of Wands in the reverse, and this is feeling kind of weak. You feel, and this is very internal, where you feel like plans that you had stalled out. You feel like there was quitting. Somebody gave up. Maybe you feel like even though you stood your ground and you ended something, maybe you feel like did I give up too soon? Did I not? Or maybe you're feeling like somebody else gave up and somebody else walked out, right? But this is also having these very weak boundaries, right? So looking at how boundaries are exercised in this relationship, weak boundaries indicated here. And again, doesn't mean yes, no, or this is very psychologically driven. This is what you're asking yourself about right now. Were you expecting too much? Were they expecting too much? Was everything within the realm of reality? Was everybody being fair? You're being really honest about this. And then we have the Knight of Wands in the near future. So the Knight of Wands is a beautiful energy. This is, so if this is you, well, first of all, that you could be meeting somebody who's really creative, very artistic, somebody maybe who's a writer, maybe who is an artist, somebody who's just very creative within whatever it is that they're doing, a very attractive energy. It could certainly be that. Now, that's going to be for some of you. For others of you, this could be you. This could be you just being really, really creative, really in the space of wanting to be a free spirit, really wanting to, but there's a sense also though here of the Knight of Wands energy could also be a little bit of a player energy, so you want to be careful of that, whether that's but I don't feel that here, right? I mean, I have to honor the energies that are around this for me. I feel like, Taurus, you're going to be approaching the future with such like vigor and such passion, and it's going to bring you exactly what you want. And we have the Sun energy here, which is just beautiful, because this is about growing beautiful connections. Some of you may be getting away from everything and just escaping the everyday realities of some sort of circumstance, but this is just a beautiful beautiful energy. The Sun is about having all the tools in your toolbox that you need to be really happy to move forward in something. Now, I want to just mention though that this is going to be, I am seriously feeling this very split. I feel like for some of you, you're going to absolutely be figuring out everything that I indicated here. You're going to be figuring this out within a relationship where you're in this stalled position right now. You guys are not together, okay? You're not together. And it's this realization that somebody is too worried about their own stuff. Or maybe you're just not willing to sacrifice what it is that you really want, need, and desire for yourself. Even though you're worried, you're dealing with that. You're moving forward and you're like, you know what? I just want to be happy. I don't want to deal with this nonsense that brings me down, that brings me into this black hole. You know what I'm saying? Like some energies that were around, they're like black holes. They like suck the life out of us, right? But others of you are going to be very, very committed to trying to work something out. But it's going to be after there being some sort of challenge here, because we have the butterfly, which is about relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. But guys, for some of you, the next phase is being single or being out of this relationship. For others of you, it's transforming the relationship into something that ends up being a better version of than what it was. Now we have that working with the mask energy, not showing true feelings, deluding. There could even be some gaslighting that you're needing to deal with this individual. We have that working with the dragonfly, which is about finding things out, realizations, things coming to light. And with those realizations, you adapt, you change, and you heal. Definitely a karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoils, resentments, right? We have a karmic relationship. It's this letting go and loving them anyway, whether you're with them or not. Just realizing that there were lessons that needed to be learned here. And this is what I have for you guys for this particular time period. I'm going to be doing a deep love read next week. We're going to be going, it's going to be extended and much deeper. But this is what I have for now. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.